True strength in a relationship is found not in never arguing, but in how we argue. And honestly, disagreements aren't the end of a relationship, but perhaps the beginning of deeper understanding.
That's what you said to me when we first met, because you're kind of an arguer.
I should have been a lawyer.
Should have been a lawyer.
Should have been a lawyer.
So
maybe I'll still be a lawyer.
When you're arguing, and if they're handled constructively, they really can become a stepping stone to a deeper understanding of each other and really a stronger and closer bond. And we've grown in this area a lot.
We've tried.
Well, we've improved dramatically because the way we argue now is different than when we argued when we first met.
You know, when you lose sight of respect and empathy, and even a small disagreement can cause lasting damage to the trust and the love that we built.
Yep.
You know, mastering the art of fighting fair is critical. It's not just about preserving relationships, but about growing as individuals and then together as a couple.
Today, we're going to push you to implement these 10 tips we're going to talk about to transform how you handle disagreements. Okay?
And we're also going to push you to share your experiences in the comments below, you know, so that we can get some insights for the whole community on how to nurture your relationship. You know, healthy conflict resolution is vital for maintaining a loving and supportive relationship, especially in retirement when you're together, perhaps 24/7.
Did you point to me again and make a face?
No, I said together.
I think you pointed and made the face. Now, what you see, you just did it again. I can't see you make the face when I'm looking that way.
Gotcha.
I'm going to have to get a mirror so I could see what's going on next to me so I know what to say.
You know, you may be thinking, yeah, but my emotions sometimes get the best of me. See how I just didn't even engage in that argument.
She ignores me.
I just deflected and just kept going, you know.
It's going to come out later, though.
But I'm
going to remind you.
Okay. You might be saying to yourself, I don't always want to give in. I can't see the other person's perspective. You know, how do I fight fair? Watch this video for inspiration and some helpful tips.
Because we actually learned a lot when we did the research on this. And actually, these are helpful tips that we're going to start using in the next couple of weeks, the next time we have a fight.
Okay.
Right?
Yep.
If you're new here, I'm Mark, and this is my wife, Jody.
And we don't focus on the financial aspects of retirement, but your lifestyle, your health, your relationships, and more.
So, please hit the subscribe button. But more importantly, if you like this video, share it with people that you care about. Other couples who you know maybe are having a tough time and they're arguing too much. This really would be helpful to get the word out and get other people to have a better retirement as well.
Now, we have always fought differently. And I put that in air quotes because it's not right or wrong, it's just different. Oftentimes in the past, we didn't fight fair. You know, we both have different filters and different styles. And honestly, the thickness of our skin is a little different.
I don't have skin.
That's
how thin it is. If my epidermis is like 1/32 of an inch. You got like an inch of epidermis.
Yeah, I have pretty thick skin.
Yeah, I don't.
And I like to finish a fight. Mark used to like to retreat. So I'm trying to finish and he's retreating. You can only imagine how bad that
Well, I just don't like to fight. That's my problem. And when you come off as being direct, whether you're right or wrong doesn't matter, but you're good. You're being really good at being direct, being
honest,
vulnerable, forthright. You're kind of just making me feel like I got to go take a break and go hide in the closet, which I used to
and
do.
I'm always trying to finish it.
So we don't do that anymore. I don't do that anymore. I'm much better at it, and we've worked through this. But the tips today really are great because they helped us go to a new level. There's a link below to our relationship toolkit. It'd be awesome because not only does it cover just, we're talking about fighting fair. That's not really in the toolkit, but just how to have a better relationship with your partner or spouse. And don't forget to stay to the end because we're going to give you, after the 10 tips, 3 strategies for a more thoughtful way to engage with your partner. So,
all right, so let's get started.
All right, the first one, understand before being understood. And this is something that goes back years in work. It really is important to understand the other person first before you let them understand what it is on your mind.
Right.
And this is communication.
And that's really true communication, right? True communication starts when we listen to understand, not listen to reply. And I think we find ourselves in that trap quite a bit. Listen actively and empathetically, right? Validate the other person's feeling before you start to present your viewpoint, right? Avoid interrupting the other person.
Yeah, the pointing again.
What point, Tam?
We're going to have a huge-ass fight tonight if you keep this up.
Huge-ass fight.
Yeah, huge-ass fight. With the new rules, though.
So again, really try to understand before being understood. Right. That's number one.
Right. Now, second thing?
Number two, stay focused on the current issue. Avoid the trap of past grievances coming forward and muddying the waters of the current conversation.
And who does this?
I don't know.
How many times have I said to you...
Well, that's your filter. That's all screwed up.
See here, this is going to be a good video because we're going to actually have a full-on fight and we're going to have to figure out, get the gloves on. So keeping it focused on the current issue. Sometimes Jody will bring in a few other things, which in my mind is hard for me because we're not only on the current issue but 2 or 3 sub-issues, and then I just get lost. So keep it on the current issue. Address one issue at a time.
Right.
Stay clear of generalizations and absolutes. Keep the discussion relevant to that topic. And I have to redirect gently if the conversation strays and vice versa. That's a good technique to keep your partner on the current issue because I think it's common for us to just kind of digress, go down a rabbit hole, and that doesn't help the fighting. Okay. Why the face?
Well, I'm not sure if I should say anything. I don't want to get in an argument with you.
Well, it's too late.
Okay.
We're going to do it later. Stay tuned. Video number 2, how Mark and Jody made it through this video.
All right, topic number 3, using I statements. Very important. Personalizing your language avoids accusations and sometimes prohibits the defensiveness that you might run into. Express your feelings clearly and your needs clearly from an I perspective.
So here's an example.
Not a you or a you people or, really take ownership and avoid blaming language.
And this is so important in a relationship. An example would be, you have to stop doing this because I don't like it.
Right.
A better way to say it is, when you do this, it makes me feel sad. It makes me feel distant. That's all you have to say. You don't really have to say anything else.
Right.
But that's a better way to say it.
So focus on the
blaming.
I statement.
Yeah. How what's happening is making me feel.
Right.
Okay.
The fourth topic is maintain respect and avoid name calling at all costs, right? Respect is the cornerstone of constructive conflict, and that's really what we're trying to get at. We're not telling you you're never going to fight, but really trying to find a way to fight fair and be constructive while you're doing it. Refrain from any language or insults that are going to put the other person on the defensive. Address behaviors, not character flaws in your partner or spouse or the person you're arguing with.
The next thing that's really important to fight fair is taking responsibility for your part in the problem. I mean, it's pretty simple. Ownership of our actions and words really are going to help move us towards a resolution. I'm the first to admit, I'm sorry, what I did was wrong. I know I hurt your feelings. I'm going to try really hard never to do that again. That's just a nice way to do it.
Yeah, and the only thing I would say about that is make sure your intentions are true.
And sincere.
And not in a passive-aggressive manner.
Oh, gosh, never. Never. Why that's like the 6th face. Okay. I would like to leave in the comments below how many times Jody made the face. All right.
Okay, the 6th topic would be manage your emotional response. Keeping your emotions in check is a key to a rational conversation.
Yeah.
I think we all know that. Recognizing when emotions are taking over and perhaps practicing some deep breathing or even taking a pause if you need to. And we've started actually incorporating that in. I'm not prepared to talk about this, or can we table this for later? Those type of things.
Right. Number 7, avoid bringing in third parties. The worst thing you can do is bring in a third party and say, well, I was talking to Joe yesterday and he agrees with me that you do this. That's bad.
Right.
Just don't bring him in. The fight is between us, not 3 of us or 4 of us or 5 of us. So really try to be sensitive and caring about that. Once you bring up another person, it just throws the thing into hell. And listen, if you guys are in a bad way and you're really struggling with getting along, get some professional help.
Yeah,
that would be a good third party to bring in, but not a friend.
I do think it's always hard to argue when you bring in someone else's opinion that's validating your point. You can't really argue with that person because they're not there.
Right.
So it's kind of a useless thing to bring in. Okay, number 7. Strive for a win-win outcome when possible. The aim would be mutual satisfaction, not one-upsmanship, right? So look for solutions that could benefit both of you and be open to some compromise and negotiation. Focusing on your common goals and values and embracing flexibility will help you find solutions.
I think I'm much better at that. I'm much better at like letting go. I mean, I'm getting older now. It's like, well, do I really care about doing it this way or that way? It doesn't matter. I just want us to get along. I want us to be in love. I want us not to fight.
Right.
Even though so many times you push me into a corner and I'm painted in this box. I don't know what to do and I have to claw my way out. But no, in all seriousness, what's so funny? A win-win outcome is good. Not I won, you lost. That's never, ever going to help.
Right.
All right. Number 8, you really need to establish and respect boundaries. Kind of like, healthy boundaries, like you said. If the timing isn't right for us to talk about something, that's fine.
Right.
And we should agree, I need to, set up boundaries. I need to talk to you. I really want you just to listen. Please don't react. Please don't yell at me. Please don't hit me. I think those are good boundaries that we put into place. We didn't used to do that, and I got all these bruises when we first met. True. No. So discuss the boundaries before you're having the conversation. And they're really about safety and comfort. Okay?
Number 9, I really like a lot, and that is to follow up and reconnect. Sometimes post-conflict connection is critical for the relationship health for the future. Discuss how to improve future communications and acknowledge the process that had been made as you resolve the issues. Really reaffirm your commitment and care for each other. I think that's always a great way to follow up.
Yeah, and I think if you're having an argument and one of you or each of you are upset and you're hurt and, whatever the other person did or said really hurt their feelings, follow up and see how they're doing.
Okay. I think that was number 9, and I think we only had 9. I can't think of the 10th. Can you?
Use gloves. Don't hit the other person with a fist without a glove.
Do not promote violence.
Never promote violence.
No.
So here's 3 things. I thought there were 10.
I thought there were 2, but there's 9.
I can't think of a 10. These were really 9 good steps. So what's the first thing you can do?
As an actionable step?
Yeah. Practice active listening. Right. In your next disagreement, listen. Truly listen to understand the other person's perspective. Don't interrupt. Don't plan your response. And reflect back what you heard. That really will help a lot. This is hard for everybody.
It is.
But try it. Active listening. You're not coming to a conclusion. You're just letting the other person be heard.
And I think the actionable step I'd want to bring forward is this use of I statements, starting to incorporate I statements in your discussions, especially when expressing feelings or addressing conflicts, is really important. It helps the communication and it helps with your emotions and it helps kind of not place blame, because once you start blaming, everybody gets defensive.
And the third thing is really a follow-up, like we said earlier. So you've had a fight, you kind of need to end it, be calm, but say, listen, I know we're both upset. I know we had a tough time in this discussion.
Let's check back in.
Let's talk about it again tomorrow. Let's go out and do something fun. Let's go out to dinner. Let's give each other a kiss. Let's go for a walk in the woods. I don't know, but stop the meeting, the discussion, the argument, but plan a follow-up. And I think that really is a good way to go. Now, I hope you guys liked this video. We loved putting this together. I can't wait till our next fight because we're going to be so much better at it. But this next video, stop doing this after 60. 6 ways to improve your retirement and life after work. We talk about living in the past, living in isolation, and resisting change. So watch this one next.